You hate Nick Cage.
Whoa.
And you love Fallout. What if Nick Cage was the star of the movie Fallout?
I'm just gonna trust that that's never gonna happen.
50 Randy Quiz.
Got that on fleek, whatever the hell that means.
50 Randy Quiz.
Back to the Future sucks.
Fuck you.
50 Randy Quiz.
I got a flu shot.
We watch movies so you don't have to.
Welcome to 50 Randy Quaid's. I am your host, Chuck Banner, and with me, my co-host as always,
Chris Penn.
Chris Penn. Who is that? Fuck. I don't even know who that is. Chris Penn.
White Chocolate.
Yeah, white chocolate, as usual.
And with us, we have our guest returning from episode 1, Tusk.
Titan.
Alright, guys. So, we watched Terminator Genisys. And if you have any questions or comments, you can always contact us on our Facebook page, tweet us, or email us at 50randyquades@gmail.com. Alright, guys. So, the rules have been reset, and Hologram Face is back.
Yes.
God. So not fair. You guys are racist.
Dude, that was an epic hologram face.
Alright, so this movie was an action-adventure sci-fi movie. And on opening day in the United States, July 1st, 2015, it made over $27 million.
It's just in California.
Although it was an estimated $155 million to create this movie. Worldwide, as of September 17th, $440 million.
Holy cow. I think that's like our most expensive movie we've ever watched.
What the fuck?
That's pretty impressive.
This movie made a shitload of fucking money.
Hell yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Even including how much it made to make it.
Yeah. They're up almost 300 million.
Yeah, holy cow. How much did Arnold get paid?
I don't know, but how much did his hologram get paid?
They work for minimum wage.
They're not real people, dude.
Oh, see, there's where the racism
CGI
comes
lives
in.
matter, okay?
Hashtag CGI lives matter.
My bad.
You gotta get on the hashtag train, bro.
Whatever, bro. Fuck that.
Fuck that.
Hashtag Skynet matters.
Skynet never dies.
Skynet lives.
Skynet never dies. True. Spoiler alert. If you guys haven't seen this movie yet, Skynet fucking wins.
Skynet wins.
Fuck you, Skynet.
Everything.
Oh, and stay for the credits.
Yeah, stay for
or
after the
watch
credits.
they did the little Disney thing where they put a scene after the credits. Patrick Lusser and
Lusser, I hardly know her.
and Latia Kalogridis wrote this movie. Alan Taylor was the director of this movie. Now, the stars of this movie are, of course, Arnold Schwarzenegger as the Guardian, not the Terminator,
That's
but
pretty,
the
that's
Guardian.
pretty stupid. That's stupid.
That was dumb.
Well, he's not the Terminator. He's not terminating anybody. He's protecting.
Yeah,
He is still a
T-800.
Terminator.
but he's still
What
a
do you think
Terminator.
T stands
Still
for?
a
T-800.
T-800. He's still a Terminator.
No, the humans call them Terminators.
So they call themselves Guardians? Is that what you're telling me?
Is that what you're saying? They get activated, be like, I am a guardian.
No, but John Cena probably calls him a Guardian.
We have Jason Clarke,
No.
who plays John Connor. And,
Sean Connery.
and then we have Khaleesi as Sarah Connor, Jay Courtney as Kyle Reese, J.K. Simmons, loving that he was in this movie, by the way.
Hell yeah.
And
Yeah,
he
he's great.
plays O'Brien. And then there's Byung-Hung Lee as Cop / T-1000. And I was loving how the T-1000 was in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I could have swore he was going to be in this movie for way fucking long.
Way long. Dude,
Yeah.
the way they killed him was fucking epic.
The way they killed everybody in the beginning there was pretty fucking sweet.
Yeah. They fucked that T-way. That was it T-101? They fucked him up. Straight fucked him up.
I loved it when they fucking were Sarah Connor is shooting all the fucking
The acid bath.
Acid
the
barrels.
acid bath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, here's what I didn't catch watching that movie that I just realized about the T-101. They made this huge deal about the T-101 going back in time.
He lasts
You know,
like-
that's the whole reason Kyle Reese went back in time. It dies within seconds of him getting back in time.
Not even 2 minutes. Just
It's like, oh, mission over.
Because the Guardian was there. Guardian took care of business.
The Blind Guardian?
The Blind Guardian.
good
Yeah.
man.
Unicorn Rock?
Alright, so before we get into this movie too much, you guys can get this movie from Redbox, Family Video, Amazon, Vudu, or you can buy it. So our own Chris Penn, Taylor Ricardo, is going to give you guys the brief description of fucking Terminator Genisys.
Alright, it's really simple. There's no complexity to these timelines at all.
You've already lost me.
Basically, Kyle Reese goes back in time to kill T-101, which dies within seconds of him arriving back in time because Sarah Connor is already a badass, even though he's expecting her to be a waitress, even though he doesn't know what a waitress is. And Sarah Connor is hanging out with this old version of Arnold Schwarzenegger. And,
Actually, dude, he is kind of old.
yeah, he's really old in this one. They get together and try to stop Skynet.
They try to mate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many times throughout that movie did he ask, have you made it yet?
I counted 3.
Did you mate? Did you mate?
There was a lot of Arnold fucking cracking me up just smiling in this movie.
Arnold was like the comic relief in the whole movie. Everything he did was hilarious.
And I especially loved it when we all figured out who Khaleesi was.
Oh,
At
yeah.
the exact same time.
We were like, who the fuck is that?
Who's the actress? She's kind of hot, but I can't put my finger on it.
Then this fucker, Tater, sitting next to me, he's like, that's Khaleesi.
No, Chuck
Chuck
said
said
it.
it. You asked. She was like, is that Khaleesi? And then I was like, oh shit, it is.
Yeah.
He got to it first, but yeah, I was like, oh fuck, he's right. She's not blonde. What
And
the
then
fuck?
she started undressing, and everybody was like, "Yeah, we've already seen it."
Yeah, we've already seen you naked. Game of Thrones, HBO. Thank
Come
you.
on.
Thank you, Game of Thrones. Oh man.
By the way, Khaleesi, if you want to ever be on the show, you can just email us at 50randyquains@gmail.com.
Oh no.
Okay, so what do you guys have to say about this fucking movie? I mean, did you guys have high hopes coming into it?
I didn't have very high hopes coming into it. I thought this is a fucking movie line that died a long time ago. It didn't need any more sequels after like 2. It really didn't.
I agree.
Really
I
didn't.
agree.
I disagree. I love the Terminator
Salvation
series.
was okay, and that's
I
it.
was so waiting for this movie. I loved it too. It did not disappoint me at all.
I didn't say it was disappointing. I just had I thought the movie was better than my hopes were going to be.
Yeah,
At the end of it.
I thought
it
had
was
really,
expectations
I had
as it was.
really like bombshell hopes for this movie, and it was a lot better.
Maybe that's why though. It's like we set our expectations so low, so like anything sort of good is like awesome.
My expectations were high, and it met those. So I think it was just a good movie.
The funny thing is I had almost zero expectations for this movie coming into it because I fucking hate the Terminator movies because they're just I can't wrap my head around the timeline and how fucking twisted and warped it is.
He's right, dude, because this movie we just watched was like some Inception shit. Like we're going to this timeline, to this timeline, to that time. This
Well,
is like
there were a lot
some
of
deep
holes.
Inception crap, dude.
I
There
love
was
that.
a lot of
I thought
holes.
that's what I loved about this one more so than the other ones. Is it showed the timelines of all the movies happening at once.
That's
it was
why
so cool.
this Terminator was hands down the best Terminator movie they have ever made.
Wow.
I can't argue against that. I mean, I love T2 was probably my favorite to watch, but this is the best one.
This is the one too
Yeah.
where it shows the technology really fucking seamlessly.
Yeah.
Where it just looks good, not only visually, and the story was pretty damn good, and they did a good job of laying everything out for you. Everything just looked like it was real, unlike watching the original Terminator,
I agree with that.
where you're just like,
or
that
Back
looks
to the
fucking
Future.
terrible.
So we were talking about how awesome this movie is.
I was backing you up.
I know.
All right, so what are some of the things that you guys really loved about this movie?
I like the ongoing joke with the smile. Every time he smiled, it was hilarious.
Yeah, that was funny.
So creepy,
It
dude.
was so good.
So creepy.
Arnie did a good job of that
He
fake
did.
smile
He
too.
did good
It
at
was-
You did a
Everything.
really good
He
job.
did
He
good at
did.
everything. It was
did.
awesome.
Dude,
The-
the I'll be back when he jumps out of the helicopter
Oh,
and
yeah.
face plants the one below them. Like, I'll be back.
Yeah. Yeah.
That might have been one of the cooler things, was seeing, I think my favorite part of the whole movie was really when they were finding out that John Connor isn't John Connor anymore.
Yeah, that was a good scene.
And then where he's walking forward and that MRI machine is like pulling him back.
Like,
That was a really
like,
visually
like
stunning
fucking layer
scene.
by layer, just like
Yeah.
getting stuck there.
Yeah, that was intense
Yeah.
because it showed how awesome movies can be now.
Yeah.
Yeah, without a doubt.
John Connor, like, as a whole in this movie was awesome. The whole way that he moved and just his character and the way that they CGI'd him was epic.
I like how Sarah Connor at one point said, John Connor is no longer the last hope for humanity. He's the last hope for Skynet.
Yeah.
That was a
And-
cool switch over, a little
That
M. Night
was-
Shyamalama Ding Dong thing going
Yeah,
on.
we definitely got the fucking Shyamalan.
Yeah.
fucking- we got the M. Night fucking twist there
Twist.
halfway through the movie, and you're like, what? That shit was dope.
That
I
part
did
was
call it, though. I'm not.
You did call
I
it.
totally called that. I'm like, he's not fucking.
fucking.
When he slipped up and called him dad, right there, I was like, that's a slip up. That's not John Connor. Fucking John Connor knows not to call him dad.
Yeah.
You know? Like, that's a fucking slip up.
It was so cool, though, the way he just kind of seamlessly called Kyle dad.
Yeah.
And he's like, wait, what do you mean?
Oh,
I'm
you
your-
didn't tell
I'm
him
your
yet?
dad?
You didn't tell him.
What else did you like, White Chocolate?
The acid rain.
I like the way
That's
they.
a
I like the way
really
they
badass.
took out that T800 or that T101 with that fucking 50 cal to the chest.
Yeah.
That was dope. That was right in the beginning of the movie.
Just like straight hole, straight through him. Just there goes your central processor, fucker.
I was a huge fan of the helicopter chase scene.
That was
That was
pretty dope.
Freaking awesome, dude.
Yeah.
And it went on for a long time, too. It,
It
wasn't a
lasted-
short scene.
it
Like,
lasted a
two
minute.
helicopters just...
Yeah, it lasted a minute. That was good.
Yeah.
I like how it initially reminded me of, like, playing Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
Because
Trying to run from the police
that's the
choppers.
only fucking thing where I've
Yeah.
ever seen, like,
Helicopter
helicopter
chases.
chases.
Yeah.
Where it's, like, multiple helicopters going against each other. I don't
convert-
really see that in
Like
movies
in a city
much.
too.
Yeah, between
I-
buildings.
Yeah, it kind of
Yeah.
almost had like
Kinda like
a
in the
Star
desert.
Wars,
Yeah.
the Star Wars X-wing Tie Fighter battle out feel to it, just with helicopters in the middle of a city.
I like that part where they teleported him and her right into the middle of traffic
Oh, yeah.
on
And
that
then
fucking freeway. That what was it, an off ramp, on ramp part right there.
Yeah, yeah.
They thought it was a suicide bomber. They're all like, oh, these damn fucking terrorists.
Naked, trying to blow themselves up.
I really
dare
like the
they.
part where Arnold Schwarzenegger said, "Hasta la vista, baby."
He didn't say
Didn't
that.
say that.
I know.
That part right where they
Awkward
like
silence.
The part,
Everybody's like, wait
the
a
part where they were
minute.
fighting in that like electric field. You thought he was gonna say it, but
Yeah.
he just hugged him. He just hugged him.
And the hand thing never came back.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Why didn't that come back?
Yeah.
Maybe deleted scene.
Oh, well, I mean, he...
It didn't need to.
He shoots off his arm at one point, but that's the other arm that he shoots
Yeah.
off, right?
It didn't really need to in the
Or he
storyline.
cuts it off.
It was probably the only reason it was there was to show that like he's
Why-
fallible.
Or I think it was just kind of explaining that, hey, Arnold Schwarzenegger is just a lot older than
Yeah.
he was in the 80s.
yeah,
Yeah.
So, of course, he's going to look like he's aged
aged a lot.
a lot.
A
Yes.
lot. Remember when they got to 2017? How old that motherfucker looked, dude? Straight white hair. Like,
Hold on, here's a
haggard
theory.
old. He looked like a haggard old bastard.
Maybe Arnold did it on purpose. Maybe there was an algorithm in his programming that said that was the best way he could get Kyle Reese to understand that it's going to be cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe it really didn't malfunction. He was just...
Maybe it was just the Guardian.
It was just him saying, this is the best case scenario if my hand malfunctions. Like, while they were racing, he was computing, like, what happens if I win? What happens if I lose? It's better if I lose. You know, kind of thing. Because Reese isn't going to win.
No, yeah, you're going up against a machine.
Yeah.
Yeah, something they could do something so repetitive and to the precise millimeter that it wouldn't miss.
Well, I thought it was kind of funny that they were actually even loading.
Yeah, why wouldn't no? Because if you keep, I think that would be a realism kind of thing. If you keep rounds in a magazine for too long, it actually collapses the spring so that it won't work. But that's
They ended up blowing up that entire place. And,
without grabbing barely fucking anything.
yeah,
out
they
of
had like a bag of
C4
weapons and explosives.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, they got attacked. It wasn't like they had time to pack and, feed the dog.
They were packing. They just didn't grab most of the shit that they had packed.
Because they had to run the fuck out of there. I don't know. I get that.
no, yeah, I mean, I get it. I mean, we're nitpicking it really at parts like that, considering there's a lot of other things you
Yeah.
could nitpick at
But
this
that's
movie
what makes it a
about.
good movie, dude. If you start nitpicking small stuff like that, it means you really paid attention.
Well, I mean, like, there's a lot bigger
That's true.
issues in this movie than them not picking up an extra or two bag to go along the way.
Yeah, this is one of those movies where they'd eventually find something that would help them out anyway if they hadn't had that bag.
As much as there is a lot of time jumping, and it seems to help at some points, there's a lot of points where they're just like,
Yeah.
here's a fucking random scene from the past. Oh, and this is a past of an alternate fucking timeline. Without saying anything about it.
Yeah, those dream
I don't know, they did.
Those dream sequences were kind of weird.
I felt like they answered all those dreams. There was a whole lot dialogue between, well, a trialogue between the three about
Him being a kid.
Reese being a kid and why he can remember two different timelines.
What did he say? Like false memories or something, or impossible memories? Is what he
Yeah,
called it?
Arnold spewed out a bunch of robot jargon about something.
Dude,
Hey.
that was a funny part of the movie. Every time he would talk,
He never
it
found
would-
the switch.
he never found
the
he
switch.
never found the
That's
switch.
bullshit.
But yeah, dude, every time Arnold would open his mouth with that like jargon, it was just like, dude, what the fuck? What the fuck was that? You like, come on, really?
I love how they even reference that in the joke of when they're
Yeah.
leaving that compound that Arnold had set up.
Oh yeah.
And they're like, how do we know it's really him? He's like, oh, the logarithms and blah. He's like, oh, it's him.
Yeah, I lack the whatever algorithms to obtain another form. Or incredible. Yeah, that's him. Or her guessing game when she had to choose which one was actually Reese. She shoots him in the foot.
Oh yeah, she didn't care if she hit him in the foot.
Okay, you know what? You get wounded in the foot. That's not going to be nearly as bad as me shooting you in the head to make
Yeah,
sure
exactly.
you're not who you really are.
I would have shot the wrong one. I thought it was the guy on the right.
You thought it was a guy? Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was even called. I was like, it's totally that one.
You did.
Then she shot him in the foot. I was like, oh,
You're like, oh,
it's not that one.
got that wrong.
And
I would
after
have totally killed the right guy. That sucks.
afterwards, he's like, you just shot me in the foot. She's like, yeah.
Deserve
So-
No big deal to take a bullet in the foot.
Exactly.
Like, okay, you know what? I've never personally been shot, but I can imagine that it is the most grievous thing that one would ever feel.
think
I
it
got a
would
flu
suck
shot.
Getting shot in the foot. There's a lot of bones and there's a lot of shit in your foot.
I want to see a shoot-off movie where they cover the timeline that we didn't see of J.K. Simmons' character from when he first meets Kyle Reese coming into like the 80s,
yeah.
and then
Oh,
all the way up to
30,
2017.
That 30-year gap?
Yeah, because you even notice how the other officers are like, this guy, whatever, he's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
crazy.
He's just nuts.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, dude, there's really fucking people
There's time
from
traveling
the time.
fucking robots, okay?
And I would love to see that character's movie.
I would have loved to see that character develop way more in this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Those characters are like in comic books, especially, seem to be like my favorite characters. Like I don't know if you guys have read Spawn comics, but there's two characters, Sam and Twitch, that are detectives.
Sam and Twitch.
They're the coolest characters ever. You know, like he was kind of that. He was kind of like just kind of a crazy guy. Like no, seriously, guys, like. Guys, there's
He's paying
there's
attention
robots from the future.
He's
Like
paying
seriously,
attention,
I'm not
he's paying attention
joking.
to shit that they don't even like.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
doesn't exist.
that brings us to best joke in this movie, where he comes he runs into the security office and finds all the computers completely destroyed.
Monitors
And-
hanging off the wall.
And he's like, damn traveling robots trying to cover up their tracks. And we all were laughing.
Oh yeah, that was hilarious. That was so funny.
That's good.
Definitely the funniest part of the movie, right there, dude.
Was there anything that you guys didn't like about this movie?
I would have liked to seen the T-1000 last a little longer, because that dude was fucking ripping it up before they killed his ass.
Yeah, the things I didn't like about this movie were just pretty much I wanted more of certain things. I wanted more of J.K. Simmons' character, more of T-1000. Although for being a minor bad guy, he lasted quite a while.
Yeah, it was actually a good, 12-minute segment. That he
Yeah,
was,
yeah. So I was
Something
all right
like
with that.
It was almost the whole first third of the movie was them just kind of dealing with going back in time originally and then dealing with the other Terminators that came back.
Yeah.
How many times did they time travel?
See, they went back
Well, it depends on how you count them.
to... Go back
really
to,
does.
How many time
go in
travels
order.
were
They went,
there
to,
in
they
the
went to
movie?
87,
In this movie, there was technically
3.
2 times that Reese traveled, 1 time that Sarah Connor traveled.
One time the T-101
The
traveled.
T-101 traveled, and that was it.
Because they didn't show
No.
the...
Oh, and somehow
No,
John
the
Connor
T-
came back
the
too.
T-101,
John Connor too.
The T-101 fucking the T-1000.
Well, yeah, they didn't show the T-1000.
But he
teleporting in.
still,
Like,
he
would
still
have teleported,
does.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, well I wasn't counting everybody.
Then
See,
you're-
it depends on how you count it, though. You know what I'm saying?
There's a lot.
He
of
said
fucking
in this
time
movie,
travel.
so I'm just counting the ones
Because
they showed.
there's also John Connor at some point has to go back in time. Because,
T-800 has to go back in time at some point.
Yeah.
Well, and they even show that he comes back in time to save
she
her
was
when she's 9 years
yeah.
old.
When she was 9.
At the fucking cabin on the water.
Yeah.
And that's why she's been calling him Pops the whole fucking movie, because that's her, quote, grandpa.
I think more like her dad, because she said that he raised her.
I like that part at the end where they're talking about how he knows so much about the facility, and he talks like he was saying when he was on the construction crew until he got laid off. Wow, dude, what kind of fucked up machine you got to be that you can't keep up, and you get laid the fuck up? You're a machine. You don't get tired. He's probably the hardest working motherfucker they had. That's probably why they laid him off. This dude is doing way too much shit. Got that on fleek, whatever the hell that means.
Damn.
I heard it the
I
other-
can tell
I heard
you're
it the other
old type
day.
because you totally used that wrong. You're just jelly because your bae ain't giving you none.
What the fuck does that even mean? And this right here is why I believe that the entirety of the human race needs to be erased off the face of the planet, because it would be the best thing that could possibly happen.
All right, Skynet.
So will you agree with me that this new slang is not the cat's pajamas?
Whoa.
So something we didn't touch upon, Skynet turned itself into...
A hologram?
A person?
No, into social media. Is
Oh.
this movie trying to tackle
Well, that's-
what social media has turned into in America? Or
guess-
I don't
around
know.
the world?
I don't know if that's
I
what
think
it
there's
did.
commentary on that.
I don't know if that's what it did, because after
don't do-
Genesis took over, there was just nuclear war and the planet died. I don't think it was just social media.
Yeah, but if it no, it was disguising itself as social media so people wouldn't catch on and
so it
try
could
to
get
destroy
around
it.
the world, I think, is why it did that. Because everybody's using it, so it would cover the planet and be everywhere, and then it could get, like, launch codes and launch missiles and destroy everybody. I think social media was just,
Cover up.
I think it was a cover in the movie, but I think it was a commentary on social media and how it's portrayed today in...
it's fucking bullshit.
What, social media is bullshit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to
it
build,
is.
like, a big EMP or something and just wipe out all cell phones in the world.
No, fuck that.
Forever.
Alright, so we're gonna break this movie down on a 1 to 50 rating scale. 50 Randy Quaid's. IMDb gives this movie 33.5 Randy Quaid's. What do you guys give this movie? Titan?
I'd give it about, I'd say 31. It wasn't like the worst movie I've seen, but I've seen better in the past couple of months. Wasn't a bad movie.
Chris Penn?
I'll totally give it a 38. Blowing up stuff and shooting up stuff. And one-liners. The one-liners never stopped. They were all cheesy, but that's what you expect from a Terminator movie, and that's part of what I love about them.
White chocolate?
I liked it. It was a hell of a lot better than I thought it was going to be. Arnold was awesome. Everything was funny. Special effects were epic. I don't like the guy who played John Connor. They could have done better. But when he wasn't human John Connor, he was awesome.
Oh, when he was just his endoskeleton?
Yeah.
Endoskeleton?
Yeah.
That was pretty badass.
That was badass. The special effects in Arnold were the best parts of this movie. They made the whole movie. It was super confusing, though.
It
with
was
the
really
48
confusing.
fucking time travels.
Yeah.
I had no idea what time it was.
What year did they actually
ever.
end up in? Was it 2017?
I have no idea.
2017.
Yeah.
I'll give it a 38.5.
All right.
Just got one up in just a little bit. huh,
I do,
Dick?
yeah. Because I think I liked it more than he did. But it deserves to be right there.
I thought I
somewhere.
really liked it.
38, 39. If you really liked it, you wouldn't have given it a 38. Out
Yeah,
of
you
50.
can give it like a 40 something, dude.
I don't know, man. Like, I'll probably watch it once or twice more, but it's not one of those movies I'm going to be watching for 20 years, you know?
Chuck Banner, what are you going to give it?
I'm surprisingly gonna give this movie a 35.
Nice.
It had everything you really want. It had action. It had hot chick.
It had the funny.
It definitely had the funny. There was some one-liners all up in this business, and they were all funny. It was a tad bit confusing, but for the most part tried to explain everything pretty well. And in true Terminator fashion, left itself open
For another
another fucking Terminator. And, as always, Skynet fucking wins.
Spoiler alert.
But that's what I got for it.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me on. Been a while.
You can like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, and follow us on Twitter at 50 Randy Quaid's. Next time on 50 Randy Quaid's, Christmas edition double feature. That's right, Star Whackers. The crew's gonna watch Christmas Vacation 2, starring Randy Quaid, and Hotel Hell, a short film with the Griswolds staying in hotels. Tune in December 14th to check out our Christmas edition show, which is our last show of the year. But we will be back next year with shows on the 1st and the 15th of every single month, and also bringing to you a special feature, Boom! Cage Talk, where yours truly, Chuck Banner, is going to sit down and watch, yes, every single Nick Cage movie ever done.
There's 76, by the way.
Oh yeah, it's gonna get crazy. Real fucking crazy.
I need to get on that with you.
Those are gonna be real short, so you guys can just tune in. We're only gonna talk about the way Nick Cage
Affected your life.
affected my life and the movie.
I will be doing a separate podcast on the effect of Nick Cage movies on Chuck Banner.
Because I'm sure things are gonna get real fucking weird when I start watching a shitload of Nick Cage movies. Alright, and next year, guys, we're also going to be debuting a brand new website, 50randyquades.com. Be there, be square, I don't fucking care. But you know what?
Back to the Future sucks.
Fuck you. We watch movies so you don't have to. Peace out.
50 Randy Quaid was recorded at J & Jug Studios, hosted by Chuck Banner, produced by Chuck Banner and Tater Ricardo. Featured music is by Fox River Fallout.